Well, I couldn't hit that mark any closer, Mike. Right on the top of the hour, we're ready to go here with the Blubrry podcast demo. Hey, everyone, welcome. We've got about 35 minutes or so, maybe 40, of going through some stuff today. Of course, those of you who don't know, that's Mike Dell. Mike, say hi.
How you doing? Still working on something over here on the side. Sorry, I'm not looking at the camera. How you doing?
All right, I know you're prepping here to do a demo. And Mike's going to share his screen here in a second. So here's what the agenda is. We're going to go through PowerPress. We're going to demo of how easy it is to publish with us with create, post, and upload. We're going to talk about our internal Blubrry publisher. Then it's going to move over to me. I'm going to talk about stats, ad injection. I'm going to talk about our private internal podcasting, our public private web app, and our network plugin. All of these things are very, very cool products. So, Mike, I'm ready when you are.
Yep, I should be sharing my screen right now. There we go. That should do it.
All right, you're up.
This is a generic WordPress website. This is my demo site, the Underwater Basket Weaving Podcast. So what we're going to do is show you a little bit about the plugin. PowerPress is a plugin that adds podcasting to a WordPress blog. And the keyword is blog, because you're going to be making blog posts, which will turn into podcast episodes when you add an episode file to it. But you can go through here and set up all your feed settings, the title of your show, a description.
Hey, Mike, why don't you show for those that are brand new the Getting Started page?
Yeah, that's right. I always forget that. So if you're brand new and you first install PowerPress, you're going to come to this page, and it's going to ask you, have you started your podcast already? And if you haven't, you hit the no. If you have, hit the yes. And let's hit no just to see what it does. All right, so then it gives you all these little things you can add. You add your artwork, the title, continue on. And it says, create a new blog post, or you can skip and just go to the settings. And in here, again, you have all these other settings you want to take a look at. You can go in and do the Apple-specific settings, your category, your subtitle, your program summary, author name, email, all the stuff that's required is marked with the red required. And once you get through all of that, you just make a blog post. So you just go over here to posts, and you can just add new, however you get there. And the beauty of that is you type in the title of your episode. So we're going to just call this real creatively episode. Oh, why is my keyboard not working? Oh, that's an interesting bug. Don't you love that? In a live demo here, let me see if I can just cut and paste some stuff in there that might actually work better. So
that's funny that your keyboard quit working during a demo.
Well, the keyboard works. What it is it's typing in white for whatever reason. Oh my gosh, it's fun. Like I said, live demos. So we're going to see if we can copy and paste something in here. No, it's just coming up blank.
Well, you want me to switch over to my site?
Yeah, if you want to. But just pretend like I put a title in there. It seems to be working okay here. Oh, jeez. Well, the important part down here is you fill out your blog post the way you would normally do it. You can put images in there, the whole 9 yards. Whatever you do for a regular blog post, and you come down here to the podcast episode box. This is what PowerPress adds in here. You click choose file, and if you're hosting with Blubrry, of course we hope you are, it'll pop up with this new window here that we'll resolve here in a second. And you click upload media file. You go and select your file, or you can just drag and drop it, but MP3 or whatever you use, MP3, MP4 for video, whatever. Works for video, same as it does for audio. And once it's uploaded, the two boxes close. You're left with your file name right there. You hit verify. You get this nice satisfying green checkbox and a check mark. And you publish it. Let's see what I ended up with a title since I couldn't see it. But anyway, there we go. Oh, that's a interesting title. But that's the blog post, and it would show, all of your, show notes, whatever you put in here underneath or above the player. You can move this player around. This is our fancier player. Has all the subscribe links and sharing links and download, and this will bring you back to this post if you posted this episode on another website, which you can do. You can embed this player, and it's just a nice player. It has all the controls. You can speed it up, see the progress. It's really slick. So that's PowerPress in a nutshell. It just adds podcasting to your blog without too much hassle.
So I guess the main takeaway here, even though we had a little technical difficulties, is once you get set up, and the setup is relatively easy. Again, if you use that quick start method that Mike showed you, that asks the basic information that you'll need to have to go to submit your show. It's the basic minimum amount of information. And then we take you right into creating a post. And then all you really have to have is your media ready to upload. And I know Mike was having trouble with the browser. Type in a title, type in your description. So it's post. I'm getting it backwards.
You create the episode. You
create the
make
episode.
a blog post. You upload it. Hit publish.
Yeah, create, upload, publish. So, all right, go ahead, Mike.
All right. And I do have another method to publishing. If you're publishing on a different type of website, say Wix or Squarespace or something like that, you can't really generate your RSS feed there. So we have a place here where you can generate an RSS feed with us, and then we give you that embedded player you can stick over on your website. So to do that, we have all the same settings here that we had in PowerPress, although it's in one long list here, but it's all the same basic stuff. And once you get that set up and you have, dashboard, go back to the dashboard, and there's a place to upload your artwork right here. So then when you want to create an episode using this method, now you don't want to use both methods. It's either one or the other. But you create your new episode, and let's see if I can actually type in this title box. I can. Look at that. So anyway, you can do the same thing. It's just like the other, in PowerPress, it looks a little different. And then you paste in your show notes. You can also add images and all that stuff here. And when you're happy with that, you come down here and you hit this little uploader button. And this did the same thing last time. Normally it pops up in a window, but it works. Let's see. You grab that MP3 file. That uploader is the same uploader we have in PowerPress. And once it's uploaded, the box closes. You're left with that file name. Everything looks the way you want. And we can also write your ID3 tags. So if you don't want us to do that, you uncheck that, or you check it if you want to write the ID3 tags based on your feed settings and this post. And you just hit publish. And that puts it into an RSS feed, which as soon as it publishes, I'll show you. So go back to the dashboard, and you'll see that there's a feed right here. We'll open that up in a new tab. That's the feed, and we kind of make it human readable. Most times a RSS feed looks more like, here, let's look at the code. In some browsers, it looks like that. But we do format it a little bit so it looks a little better when you're hosting here on Blubrry. But you can then give this RSS feed to all the different places: Apple, Google, Stitcher, TuneIn, Amazon, and so on. And let's see, go back here.
Yeah, don't show them the actual page. There you go.
Yeah. So there's the actual page. If you click on the episode, you see your episode notes in here. You have the subscribe links, share links, all that good stuff. So this would be the landing page for that episode if you're not doing WordPress. And that embeddable player, which is the same player that you have on WordPress, is right there. You can style the player, change the colors around on the buttons if you want. When you decide you like it, you come down here, grab this code, and you put this on your website, and it'll work like a charm.
Okay.
think that's about it in the dashboard here.
All right. So just to recap here, Mike demonstrated how to, just a basic kind of quick run through of PowerPress, nothing too deep, and using with WordPress. And then on the Blubrry dashboard and being able to, if you're not on WordPress, if you have your own content management system or you're on Wix or whatever type of space or whatever type of website you're on, you have the ability then to take that embed, put that on your website. Or again, we provide you a landing page for your show. Very simple, kind of like a Twitter page. It's a standard show page. Also, the thing to consider is if you don't have a WordPress site, we do provide you a free WordPress site with every hosting account so that you'll be able to just use our managed WordPress hosting, and it's free. So that's always an advantage as well. You don't have to go out and get a website with a third-party hosting company. So what I want to do next is I want to walk through, see if I get the screens right here. I want to walk through our statistics. I think that's what I've got scheduled next. Let me double check and make sure that's what I got on my guide here. Yeah, so we're going to talk about our statistics. So let me come back. And you obviously go into the dashboard, and then once you're in stats, the way the stats are designed is it's going to give you a global view, basically what the show has done for its lifetime. We can give you a month views. We can give you a custom range or range view. So you can really set it up to look at the amount of time or down to a single episode as you so please. And again, it's kind of like an onion. You got the outer layer, and the closer you go in, the deeper you go in, all the way down to a single episode. Everything you see on every one of these reports is available, broken out, either by month, this range view that you want to set up. You can set up 7 days or 2, or just look at 1 day's worth of delivery. And really, you've got the ability there to really narrow it down, or you can look at 2 years worth of data. So I'm showing you September of 2020 for this particular show. And the trending, though, when you load the trending line up, you can see that it goes back a period of time. And you can look at the trending of the show over multiple months. You can also look at the show and see what it's done day to day. And this show, we haven't been, this one is about a year. So you can see what's been happening with the show over about the last year. My show, I've got 15 years of data in it, and I can export that information on any of these pages can be exported. Another thing that we provide is kind of unique or it is absolutely unique to Blubrry Podcasting, is partial play data. And what this is you'll notice here that it says 2,953 total downloads, IAB certified compliant downloads. And then you've had what's called completed, and that's basically where that file has delivered 100% to a device. And probably that's a number that really represents subscribers to the show that automatically get it. The partial totals, then you can see there's 1,105, and it's broke down into percentage of how far they got into the program before they basically bounced out. So you can see 500K to 25% of the file, 634, 25 to 50%, 134, 50 to 75, 59, and then 75 to 99% made it to 278. So it gives you a little bit of an ability to kind of see what's going on with your podcast from a listening standpoint when people are playing it, actively playing it on a device that they're not necessarily downloading it. Distribution, it's kind of some basic numbers, mobile applications, web browsers. We've got tablets, TV set-top boxes, podcatchers. We break that total out. We've got information on platforms. That would be iOS, Windows, Mac, Android, Linux, blog applications, Chromebook. Matter of fact, Chromebooks right now is taking a big jump because of all the students that are basically at home doing virtual school. A lot of Chromebook sales are really, really up right now. So you can kind of see that from that perspective. And then our clients list, and this is a pretty big list of different devices. You see Overcast, you see the iTunes. The Apple Watch is no longer being measured as of October 1st. So because of an IAB change. Podcast Addict, Pocket Cast, Safari, Firefox, Downcast. It just goes on. And all the way down here in the bottom, someone listened to a one episode on a Chromecast. So it gives you that breakout by clients. And then we do it by geography too. We look at the world. So best way to show this off is bring up the map. You see Canada, the United States, over here in Saudi Arabia, India, Australia, Mongolia, different places where people are subscribed to the show. So you can kind of see where your audience is. One thing that I did was I had one listener that was down in Antarctica. So I did a shout out on my podcast for him, and it turns out it was a scientist down on the ice. And it was nice to basically be able to recognize that listener in my show. As far as U.S. goes, same type of deal. We can see a map. You can see where we are reaching people and where we're not. Looks like we got a little bit of work to do in Middle America here. But you can see that, the numbers across the United States. We even break it out by metro area. And this is kind of a cool little map. This basically tracks 293 metro areas across the United States. These are the Nielsen metro areas, so you can see where people are dialed in. And even our friends up north in Canada, we've got the ability to see where listeners are in Canada and break that out as well. We do this for the United Kingdom. We do it for Brazil. And, we got a nice little map even for Brazil showing the different states. But this is the detail we go to in our top markets. We also provide you target and referral data. Now, one thing that is very, very cool here is, let me go down to September. I'm going to pick one episode. We'll pick that one right there. And you can see that had 451 downloads, had 284 full downloads, and 167 partial. And again, I explained that earlier. But we also have a new report here. It's an hourly report. And I can actually look at the trending of a show. You can see I'm going out to the 23rd, 18th to the 23rd. So I'm looking at that period. We track 7 days. So I can see what's happened with this episode on an hourly basis across 7 days. And really shows that initial big peak, that first couple of hours where the podcatchers are coming in and grabbing the show en masse. And then you can look over that 24-hour period and then further through multiple days, you can see what's happened. So that is our statistics. Did I miss anything there, Mike?
No. I think you got it covered pretty well. You were talking about your listener in Antarctica. I have one listener left on a BlackBerry.
Wow.
So when I go into the clients list, I see the BlackBerry, and I've called out to him a couple times and haven't heard back yet, but I hope to find the one listener that I have that's on a BlackBerry.
So what we're doing here while I'm jibber-jabbering is I'm logging out of one account, and I'm going to log into another account. I think I signed out. Guess I didn't. Okay, now let me go ahead and load this. And what I want to show you next is our dynamic ad insertion. So our dynamic ad insertion application is really designed. Oh, that's interesting. Why is that showing me that? Okay.
Yeah, I got into that loop yesterday.
What happened there? So this is demo insanity day.
Yeah.
Oh, what is going on?
Let me see if I can get into one here. I think I can. But
did you report that bug?
Yes, I did, and I thought he had it fixed. So, hey, technical stuff.
Yeah, this is not supposed to happen during a demo.
No. But I do believe I had it solved on mine. So I guess to log in here. So excuse our glitches here.
Yeah, so I could switch to PWA while we're waiting.
Yeah, why don't you do that, and I'll see if I can get that going.
All right, so, geez. All right, so let's switch gears, and we'll go to private podcasting app. And our private internal podcasting product, and we'll see if we have any bugs here, is a situation where if you want to put a podcast behind a login, authenticated login. And our admin section here basically gives you the link to your private web app, the iOS and Android app, and then has the ability here to manage your site. We've got a fake company we set up called Low Hanging Fruit Enterprises. Put up a little cute icon and some stuff, and didn't make it too fancy. But we've got the ability here then to manage the shows. You can intermix your private shows along with add some public shows in there as well, so that if they're accessing via the private web app or on the or via the iOS and Android app, they could access those public shows as well. But anyway, you can set the security here. When we set the show up, we set the security and it goes from low to highest. Each of those designations has a certain amount of limitations on how you can access. Low, you can generally access that show with authenticated users through a login through Apple Podcast app or a variety of apps that support it, all the way up to the highest where it's actually no longer a podcast, it's actually streamed. But most of the companies take the middle of the road case where they can access the podcast and download it and store it encrypted at rest on the device. You also have the ability to set up the authentication, either a manual list of users, SAMU or OAuth 2 is supported, and of course a user group that is basically you can edit your users and set the not only their name, their password, but which group they belong to. So you can actually subdivide content within it so that Aaron is a case, he's only going to get access to the executive shows that are in the stack and not the other shows. And then groups is basically executive and staff, and you can manage the shows that are in each of those lists, and it gives you the ability to set that. So that is really kind of the basic dashboard of the private web app. But the most important thing here is our private web app that's available via a browser, or most likely designed for those folks that are using a mobile device. And give you an example here. Let's do from the corner office. Not only can we do, let me scroll. Let's see here.
I can hear you.
You can hear me. There's the video. So the video pops up, and not only can you do video, you can do audio, of course. And that's going to give you the ability to listen to, like, example, a sales report or something to that effect. But we also can deliver in this documents. So it's not only audio, video, but it's documents all behind a certified login that, again, makes sure people are authenticated. And if someone leaves a company, you just remove them from the user role and they immediately lose access to the media that was maybe encrypted on their device. And basically, it's at that point, they no longer can get access to the private web app data. So, Mike, are you ready to go on we'll go back to you on the...
Yep, I'm ready.
Add insertion. Okay, so
I should see my screen there when you switch.
Let me find you. There we go. So, all right. So this is the add insertion program. And the way we've designed this, really, we've made it very, very simple. This is for self-managed ad insertion. You can go ahead and very simply create a new campaign. You can set your date ranges. You can set your priority. And really, that's the basis of the information that you would set up. Mike's setting up an actual campaign here.
Yeah, just set the dates, start and stop dates. Let's see, we'll do this all the way out to March of next year. And you can set the priority, 10 being the highest priority. So if, say, you have an ad campaign that's running for a month and you have another one underneath it running for, say, 3 days, or 6 months or whatever, and then when this one ends, that one will take over.
Yeah, so
it just goes in priority order.
Yeah, so the highest level will run first. I guess that's the best way to say it.
Yeah, it'll run first, and then if that one, is ended, then it'll, like a lot of people put a backup campaign with promos or whatever, so that no matter what, always something is running in those ad spots, which is kind of cool. But so we've got the campaign here. We select whatever programs you have in your account. So this is for pro hosting customers. So they may have multiple shows. We'll set, just the one. And then say I want to upload an advertisement. So, I could name the ad and all that. So add one and save it, and then you can select a file to upload. I'm not going to upload one, but you select the file to upload that gets inserted either pre-roll, post-roll, and that's the other thing when you, let's see, what did I do? I set that one as pre-roll, but say I wanted to do it as post-roll. I could do that if you're on the full insertion. Pre-roll comes free with pro hosting, and post and mid-rolls. But say you have 10 mid-roll spots. Say I want it to go in mid-roll 1. Save that. Then wherever I've got that tag for mid-roll 1, it just inserts it in there. Then you can go here and manage media. So you turn on the episode you want to select. So say I want it to go in this one, every other one instead of every one. There's all kinds of ways of doing it, and that's the nice thing about it. And then whenever you're ready, you hit Start Campaign. It'll rebuild your files, and the way our system is, it will replace those media files right there in your feed. And the next time someone downloads one or hits play on one, those ads will be in there.
So thanks for that. And of course, while we're doing the demo, I'm on ICQ on Slack with our dev team. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I warned him.
All right, so let me come back to me, and let's see here. Let me find the controls, because I'm going to. This has been a day where we'll have to replace this demo video.
Yeah, the second one went really well. So. Yeah,
the second one went really well, and this one just, my gosh, we fell over today. Let's see here. If I got the right window. Now I'm having technical difficulties. Let's see for the demo system. There we go. That's what I wanted. All right, so we've talked about PowerPress, the demo publishing through WordPress. We talked about the publisher. So that if those of you not using WordPress, we talked about stats, we've talked about ad injection, we've talked about the private internal podcasting, PWA. So let me talk about our network plugin. So we'll see if we have any problems here.
Yeah. Now the network plugin is not a separate plugin now, too, by the way. So if you sign up for the network service, you can activate that currently in PowerPress.
And this is part of our pro hosting option.
Yeah.
So, all right. So the Tech Podcast Network is a network that's run by Blubrry. What you're seeing is just a standard plain Jane WordPress site. And what we've got here is the network plugin enabled to showcase this website. And the way this is listed on the site, you can see we got the Aussie Tech Heads, we got IN30, the Gadget Professor, Merge Conflict. This is all listed as far as you don't see it yet, but it's stacked newest to oldest. About every 3 hours, we update that with someone that basically whoever's published a new episode. So if I click on the Aussie Tech Heads and load that page, you'll see that this page loads remarkably fast. And what we've done is this is dynamically generated through a shortcode. And those of you that don't understand what a shortcode is, let me just real kind of explain from here up. This is just regular. The title of the blog or the page, a little bit of text actually in the body of the page, and then everything from the icon down or on this page, again, the icon down, we have a little piece of code that is inserted automatically through the configuration software onto the page to be able to auto-generate this. And really, this is purely for showcasing shows that may be in your network. And we've got a couple of ways to display this. So, and you can play with this on your own over at techpodcast.com. You can go take a look at it, play around. Again, we've got the ability here to put every show in as a list, and then I'm able to actually categorize it. So, for example, tech news, a lot of shows in the tech news category. Let me show another one that doesn't have so many. Let's go to how to. I think that's pretty short. Actually, 4 or 5 shows on there. So you can see we're able to break that out and have those shows. And, of course, here's the Blubrry Show Podcast Insider. Again, Podcast Insider has its own website. You can see right here, it's the link, blubrry.com/podcast-insider. That takes us back to the homepage if we want to over at Blubrry. And you can see it here. This is where this show lives. But so far as this site goes, we've got the ability to showcase it. We don't show the entire show notes. We just show an excerpt of the post. And this thing is remarkable because if you want to set up a network to have people to be able to apply for it, you can make this page public and people can apply. Then within the admin system, you can approve or deny shows, or you put this behind a password protected page, and then give an applicant the ability to come in here and add their show, or you just do it yourself manually.
And they don't have to host with you or us.
No,
they can, be on any as long as they have a podcast feed that's compliant,
right?
They can be here.
So the way we price this is any of the shows that are underneath your pro account are included. You don't have to pay anything for them. And then shows that are outside of your network, let's say they're hosting over another party, they're not another competitor's website, but you still want a part of the network, then there's a tiered pricing plan for the number of shows. And this is still a full functional website with rich content. You can still do your blogging. And, and this is a post from the Tech Podcast Network team. It's actually a video podcast. We do a lot of video podcast.
And you can generate your shows right from here,
That's
too.
Right,
So if you wanted to do your own show on the network site, you can do that.
And this doesn't have to be your landing page. You can make this a subpage. This could be at techpodcast.com/network. We so chose to put it on the homepage to be able to highlight shows that are part of the network there, because all the shows that are part of this network are not housed at techpodcast.com except for the internal podcast that we do. But we've got customers that have a dozen shows that they have on their own blog, on their own website, broken down by categories, and then they have another 10, 15, 20 shows, and then they use that as a separate page to highlight everyone. And this is all automated. Once it's set up, you don't have to do anything. About every 3 hours, we update the metadata, and you makes a call over, the plugin makes a call over to blubrry.com and pulls that data, and then they cache it here. So you can just see how fast that page loaded. That, again, is because of the tech we put behind there. We didn't want to slow anybody's website down whatsoever.
That's the same technology we use for the Blubrry directory, although it's a little beefed up for our big directory.
Right. So the next thing I'd like to talk about is just some stuff that we run at Blubrry that you may not be aware of. The first thing is Podcast Mirror. You want to talk a little bit about that, Mike?
Yeah, Podcast Mirror, if you guys are familiar with how FeedBurner worked, and sort of does still, but they haven't updated it in so long, and we decided that we needed something like that that's more updated, more flexible, as far as, you can add tags a little bit in here too. So if, say, you're on a host that doesn't do redirects for stats, so if you wanted to be on Blubrry stats, but the host you're on doesn't allow you to set that up, you could set up a mirror feed. You can put that redirect in here, and we could still collect stats on it. The other use for this is, say you're just starting out and you're not sure you want to get into podcasting, but if you want to future-proof it, you set up a mirror feed, and then you submit that mirror feed to all the different directories. So if you want to move around, how you're hosting your show or how you're generating your RSS feed without disturbing all the connections you have with Apple and Google and everybody else, this is a good thing to do that. Also, if your website gets a lot of traffic and your web host is saying, hey, you need to upgrade your server because we're getting all this traffic, well, we can take that traffic away from you. And it's all free. It's part of our services to the community. And it's a FeedBurner replacement that I think is way better than FeedBurner. We took all the good stuff they did and made it way better.
And it's a monster. I mean, it really flies. And
rocket ship fast.
That's right. And that was my main objective when we built this. I told the dev team, I don't care. It's just got to be fast. And, that was the number one mandate for feed speed loads and everything. And I tell you, what ends up happening is someone will get $1 a month hosting site somewhere. And then all of a sudden they have explosive growth and they run into a little bit of a problem. So the next thing I want to show you is something called Cast Feed Validator. This is a place where you can validate your RSS feed to make sure that everything is still good with it. I've copied in my personal show's RSS feed, and I just go ahead and start validation here, and it will start running through the test. It'll give me updates where it thinks there's maybe an issue. I've got a warning on excessive caching. Well, I run excessive caching on purpose because of the traffic I get to my website, but it just goes through and
just lets you know.
Yeah, it lets me know. And if it's something it's something that's bad, it'll come up and give you a red. Tell you that there's a real problem. And again, everything came through successful test. And this is a way to just basically test your RSS feed from time to time to make sure it's good. Now, if you forget where your podcast, or forget what your podcast feed is, let's put in here the new media show. And we do this quick lookup. Let's see what happens on Apple. Right there. Let's just try another one. Let me try Podcast Insider. And we're right there. So I can go down here, I can hit validate this feed, and we'll actually validate the feed, the Blubrry RSS feed. And same thing, we're using a lot of caching on our site to keep things moving fast.
Caching isn't necessarily bad. It's just it's just something extra that if you know what you're doing, it's great.
Yep.
But if you get some plugin that really doesn't understand feeds, it can cause issues.
So we don't write ID3 tags to our media, so they are missing out of our media files, but we've just chosen not to do that for Podcast Insider, but it warns us that the ID3 tag is missing from the media. But anyway, that's Cast Feed Validator. And again, if something really is bad, it's gonna really kind of give you the warning, the red warning, and let you know. Everything else is just kind of a good to know informational type stuff. But castfeedvalidator.com. Something else we put online about 5 years ago is called Subscribe on Android. And for Blubrry customers, this drove huge Android adoption. And why? Because we integrated with all these apps, with Podcast Addict, Podcast Republic, Simple Podcatcher, Beyond Pod, Podkicker. I think there's a total of 13 apps that have integrated CastBox, WeCast. They've integrated the code so that when someone with an Android device comes to your website and clicks on the Subscribe on Android link, if they have one of those apps already preloaded, it will load that app just like it does the Apple Podcast app and ask you to subscribe. So this is why I like to call it one-click subscribe on Android. Subscribe on Android is a great product. Obviously, Google Podcasts has come in and is making some headways there as well. But the true situation is they come to your website. They don't have a podcast app yet. They click on subscribe on Android. And if we don't detect that app, we bring them to a mobile version of this website, and they can install one of those apps and then subscribe to your show.
Yep.
Once they've installed the app, they do not ever have to, they'll never come back to this page. And so it just makes it an easy way. And no one else adopted this. This is something that Blubrry customers still to this date, millions of people are subscribed via Android, and the secrets.
Yeah. And you could, if you're on another host, you can create your own button. You come over here, you put your RSS feed in that box, and then you scroll down to the bottom, and it has some button code and some link code down there that you can stick on your own website, and they don't have to integrate with it.
That's right.
And it just gives your listeners another place, another option. Like I always tell people, don't promote something you don't own. Promote your website and then make sure that they have all the options, because we really don't care how you listen as long as you listen. So we try to give you as many options as possible.
So that is true. As like Mike said, you don't have to be a Blubrry customer to use this. You can be on any service. We've made it available. We give you the short code. We give you the little embed file to put on your website if you have one. If you don't have one, we need to talk to us and we get you migrated over. Another application we have is called Subscribe by Email, and this is one I had high doubts upon in the beginning. I didn't think this thing was going to go anywhere, but this was a brainchild of our CIO. And what we found was that there was a huge number of shows, a huge number of people that wanted to subscribe to a podcast by email so that they would get a notification. So all people do is come over here, and they can enter the podcast feed or the podcast show. So I can type in here, Podcast Insider. You can click on that. See if we can find the show here. It's probably on page 2, isn't it, of our own show.
We got to work on our SEO, Todd.
Yeah, so I click on that, and then I brought back to the website, and I can put in my email address and subscribe. Now, this isn't a list in which you will get access to the people who subscribe. This is a service offered by Blubrry specifically for people to get a notification when a new episode is out.
This is really handy for, since this whole lockdown situation, pandemic situation, a lot of churches have gone to online, and delivering their sermons via podcasting. And a lot of those people are not super tech savvy.
Right.
And so they said, hey, here's the place you can go on your computer, go here, put your email address in, and then they'll just get an email, and then it sends them a link where they can just click and hit play, and they get the podcast or the sermon or whatever you're trying to deliver without, with minimal technology. If you know how to use email, you can listen to podcasts.
So this is going to wrap us up. And, of course, we had a couple of bumps in the road today. The devs updated the website in between this week and the demo on Tuesday and today and broke some stuff. So, and again, Mike, that was crazy. Your browser showing just white text. I
don't think that's a bug on our part. No, I think it might be my website.
Yeah, you need to clear the cache on your browser.
But hey, we got her done, and we'll just replay the one from Tuesday.
There we go. All right, everyone, thanks for being here. Any questions at all, Mike? Did they come in?
I didn't see anything in Podcast Movement. Anything on any of the other platforms?
Nope, don't think so. I really wasn't watching too close on Facebook. And let me just go over there real quick and look. No questions there, and no questions on the other site. So I think we're good. All right, everyone, thanks for attending our demo. Take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Yep. See you.